Hello my friends, it's been a while since I've done a pen video, and I certainly wouldn't want you to think that I've stopped buying pens, because Lord knows that hasn't happened. Just, things have intervened, not the least of which I lost my voice for a couple months. But it is mostly back, and I wanted to show you in particular right now this new Scribo. If you've been watching my channel, you know that for the last couple of years I've been pretty crazy about Leonardo and about Scribo pens, and Scribo has come out with a new model, and at first I wasn't so sure when I saw it coming out of the package. It seems very small, and I've been using a lot of big pens in the last few years, but it is awfully pretty. The model is the Piuma, and this is the Altrove, anyway, that color, and it is really super hard to photograph. In good light, you can see that it's got sort of flecks of blue or purple and burgundy, and the body is a black or a very dark blue around those chips. Hard to say, but they pick up the light really well when you twirl it around. But you can see that compared to, well, actually you can't see it, but that's sort of part of the deal. But so this is the Scribo feel, and I've got several feels at this point. I think Scribo makes absolutely fantastic nibs. Scribo as a company is descended from Omas in a certain respect, so one shouldn't be surprised that the nibs are so nice. But I have several Scribo feels, and then I picked up this, and it feels so much smaller. It's not as girthy as the feel, but the Altrove actually is only a little bit shorter, and I actually prefer comparisons uncapped because that's how I use the pen. And boy, it's really not even a quarter of an inch shorter than the feel. So in some ways, the sense that it is smaller is a bit of an optical illusion, or really has to do with how it fits in my hand. So the feel is girthy right here, right where the thumb kind of crosses over to the index finger. And I haven't gotten out my calipers because I'm talking about impressions, and I am not one of those super specific kinds of persons. And this is a little bit shorter, but it's that point where my thumb crosses over that feels so much smaller. Now, that being said, the section is nice and long on the feel, so it is a comfortable pen. I don't post my pens. You can post this. It's not fabulous posted, and you would think, and it's become somewhat back-weighted then. I don't like it posted. But it is light, it is pretty, and the nib is out of this world. Oops, capped it on the wrong pen. I'll do a different angle in a moment and show you some other comparisons. Let me just blather on about this pen a little bit. So the Piuma has, the way the light hits pens, very often pens look like they're faceted when they're not. Well, interestingly, this pen has a flat spot here and a flat spot here. So only two flat spots, as opposed to, say, the feel, which is faceted all the way around. I think it's an octagonal. I'm not quite sure. I haven't counted them. Don't care how many. It's faceted. It's pretty. I love it. So this has two facets, which actually make for really nice, the really nice positioning in the hand, the way it rolls around. Something I especially love, there the light caught it, is how the simple etching of the name in the barrel. Very classy, right on the flat, up near where the cap meets. It looks really classy and terrific. sometimes when I really love the material of a pen, I don't want it clipped because I don't want an interruption of that. But I think the shape of this clip, the way it is right over that flat bit, where the way your eye follows that line down and sees the name of the pen or the name of the company, is really classy, and I like it a lot. And frankly, the truth is a clip is very handy. So, Scribo's logo, the feather or the quill on the end, flat end here too, if you care about those kinds of things. But one thing that is a little frustrating for me about the pen is, in order to get these facets to line up, you have to tighten it really tight. Now the pen opens in, let's see, about 1.5 turns. So I get that they want it to be secure, but I normally would want to just kind of stop it right there. And you see it's out of alignment right there. So you really got to crank it to get them to line up perfectly. And that's nice and tight, and then feel comfortable or confident with it in a pocket and stuff. But I'm worried that at some point I'm going to over tighten this pen and wreck the threads. Because the section's plenty long, this step down is not a problem for me. Now, if you're somebody who really holds the pen far up, I don't think this would be a comfortable pen for you. One, because of that step down, and two, because if you hold it way up here, there's just not enough back end to make it really comfortable. All right, I want to switch the camera around and show you some comparisons to a few other pens in terms of size, and then I'll show you a writing sample. Okay, so here we are with the Scribo Piuma, and you see I haven't got it lined up there. And if we put it next to, and again, I prefer comparing pens uncapped. If we put it next to a regular Leonardo Momento Zero, it's a bit bigger. If we put it next to a Leonardo Momento Zero Grande, and yes, this is an opportunity to show off my fabulous primary manipulation 4, it's a little shorter, but not that much. And yet, like I say, in the hand, it feels substantially smaller. And then here it is next to its big brother, the Scribo Feel. And you see, it's really quite comparable. So it's very odd to me how this feels like a small pen, but it's really not. And it's, again, I'm not getting out the calipers because that's not my deal, but its girth is about the same as the regular Momento Zero. I'm just eyeballing that. And let's see how it writes. I got an extra fine nib. So this is a 14K extra fine flex, and I think this is one of the best nibs going. So I don't usually make my S's like this, but it's fun to do that with this nib. Usually I make my S's like that. It's really nice. Now, I don't want to push this so much to show you the flex, because I did that once in a review, and I kind of, with my first Scribo, and I made what was a really nice fine writer into almost a broad writer. But you can see it does not take much to get some significant line variation here. And I have found, even though, and I've mentioned this before, even though I've spent years getting medium nibs, and now that you can get extra fine nibs that are lovely like this and quite wet, they're really more suited to my scrunched up handwriting. So My dog is saying hello to some other dogs in the neighborhood. So, very keen on this new pen. I might have to get another one, you know, just to make sure that this is as cool a pen as I think. And oh, by the way, isn't that Leonardo just about one of the prettiest things you've ever seen in your life? So that was a quick view of this new pen. I think it's a winner. If I were choosing between Scribos, I would still choose the Feel, although it's great to be able to get another very, very lovely Scribo Flex nib and a pen with somewhat different body shape. And I'm also very pleased to see that Scribo is expanding some of the materials that they're using. I mean, they're not going crazy. It's not like you've got 15 different choices. I think this particular pen comes in four different materials, and they tend to release, they have released the Feels 2 colors at a time. So it's not an overwhelming array of choices, but there are enough choices, I think, in each model that you can take some pleasure in picking out what's your jam. Oh, by the way, the ink that I used in that writing sample is Leonardo's Taurasi. It's a really neat ink. It's, in some lights it looks very purple, in other lights it looks more like a maroony red. If I had to put it in a class, I would put it in a class of a maroon to brown, but like I say, sometimes it has a kind of purple look to it. This paper that I use that I used for this little introduction is Rhodia. So it's decent paper. It's not paper that will it's quite decent paper. It's not paper that will show off sheen super well, not like Tomoe River, but it's really good and reasonably priced and easy to find everyday paper. So that's the deal. I've gotten a few Leos that I haven't talked about, and a Santini or 2 I haven't talked about. So you may be hearing from me again soon, but I hope you haven't missed me too much. And thanks to all of you who have subscribed and thumbs upped and all that kind of stuff. I really do appreciate it.